Hello, welcome to this webinar. My name is Artur Bessoni. I'm the Managing Director here at Shedmate, and today we have a very straightforward video. I'm going to show you directly how Shedmate works step by step since the moment that the client requests a quotation and what you can do to help the client to reach a design intent all the way through quoting, fabrication, so you can actually deliver the shed to your end customer. If you've never heard about Shedmate, we are a software company. Our specialization is helping shed businesses to grow and scale their business through the use of systems that can optimize a lot their workflow. So if you want to spend less time designing and quoting and documenting projects and more time profiting, you came to the right place. So Shedmate, it's a company that's very flexible. We adapt to you, not the other way around. But let's go straight to the demonstration of how this system works and can benefit your company to grow. No matter if you're working with solid steel sheds like U-beams and web trusses, or if you're just dealing with cold-formed steel portal frames for sections and verandas and carports and basic commercial, industrial, and commercial sheds. We're here to help everyone. We have a different solution for every customer. So let's get started. I'll do in this demonstration a small shed in the city that I live in South Australia. So let's start from the Enquiry system. So let's suppose now that a client gets to your office and they say, hey, I would like to design a shed. So you can open the Enquiry system, and this Enquiry system here is fully customizable to your company. We can add different templates if it's a hay shed or domestic sheds with roller doors, carport, or solid steel. So I'll start with this domestic shed with roller doors. And then from here, there are many things we can do to design the shed using our configurator. For instance, if we want to change the dimensions of the shed, in this case like 12, and in this block that I want, the client wants a 6-meter wide shed, I can just type 6 here. Shedmate automatically changes it. If I want to change the roof angle to 13, Shedmate does that automatically as well. And look how nice it is, like 25 degrees, no worries. It kind of redoes roof inclination details there. So I'll just use 13 for this one. Yeah, this will do. And I'll just remove some of these roller doors. I don't want them. I could, flip or change a little bit the position of my PA door. This will do. And I don't want this spinaways. And I'll probably add some more on the roof here, some more skylights on both sides. So I have like this, a better view of my shed, and it's all looking good. Okay, so I could add awnings to it. I could change the base inside, could add concrete to all of the around of the shed or remove it, could change the colors. So we have different cladding types here. Custom orb, we have different cladding types here that your company might be using. So I'm just changing everything to corrugated. I could change the roof here to trim deck, and I'll change all of the colors for this shed to deep ocean. Okay, I could change everything at once here, or just item by item, clicking on my user interface. So I'll just put the deep ocean, apply to all of the sheds, and I'll probably look for monument here and apply that to the doors. So I have my doors, so it looks good. Everything looks fine. I'll probably change that one to deep ocean as well. Now I have what I needed. So I'll just hit quote here, and I can just type the name of my client. For instance, I could say Tony Davis. That's just like a random name. And then this the phone number and the email of the client. I'm just using my own personal email details here. And then I could say, okay, this is going to be built in Gambia. So I'll just hit send now. And now I sent that project to my company. So if I go back to Shedmate here and I just open my drafts, I'll be able to see that Tony Davis project right there. So look how nice it is. Like your client could fill all of this information if this system is embedded in your website, or your team, your sales team can do that in their own office as soon as a client rings, or if a client asks for a quote presentially. So all of the informations they are listed there in our Enquiry system, and from here I can actually open that shed, clicking here or editing the shed, and now it's going to that shed editor. So now the previous one was kind of more a grass background, and now I have a more technical view in which I can do a lot more things. For instance, I could change the structure of the shed, and this would be ideally the first step when you're actually dealing with a quote, like, okay, what kind of structure am I actually using here? So I could show my fabrication view in which I have my frames, and then I could go to my engineering system, and then Shedmate is gonna do some calculation and find some computations that would match that one. So this was something that I did on purpose. So let's say that, hey, I'm using some brackets that they are 12 degrees. So this shed here, we actually changed that to be 13 degrees. So it's not matching 100%. So what I could do is just, ring the customer and say, hey, are you happy for 12 degrees? Because our brackets are 12 degrees, whatever. If they say yes, I go back to engineering. Now it matches 100%. So if I just show the fabrication here, we can see that's actually a C200, and I can select this computation, and then Shedmate is going to say, hey, you don't need C215. It passes with C15024. So I'm going to apply this to all. And then you can see that my foundations, my frames, everything changed to match that specific computation. So I know that this is actually going to be valid for my quotation. So I'm going to save this project. And now I have quickly designed my shed. I have all of the members there. So let's proceed to the next step so I can actually send something to the client as a proposal. So because I already have my frames, I could open my bill of materials, and everything here is matching now. I have my C15024, I have the columns, the rafter, the fascias, and the length, the total length, the mass, and the total mass. So the total mass is very useful for planning delivery, so you know how heavy that shed's gonna be. And then I have details about my flashings in deep ocean as we change, the ridge caps, the bar streams. I have the gutter detailing, I have pipes, and please note we haven't changed all of those details in Shedmate, but we could. It's just so we can speed up this video so it's not too long. But if you guys want, just comment below. I want a video specific about this other feature, and I can detail that for you. Concrete reinforcement, connections, walls, roofs, everything is there, okay? I could download this to Excel, but I'm gonna do something better. I'm gonna go back to the quoting system, and then in the quoting system, I can create a new quotation for this project that we have just designed. So from here, we're gonna have different costing templates. The way it works is, as soon as you subscribe to Shedmate, we have a 21-day program in which our team sits with you and you set up everything for you. We set up your costing templates, we set up the contract template if we want to create contracts or invoices using Shedmate. We set up your pricing template as well, and you can have as many as you want. You could have a pricing for each specific month, you could have a price for different regions that your company supply to, different suppliers that you use. Let's say you buy stuff from Streamline and Metro, you could have a template for each of them. So you can actually compare these different suppliers to see what's the different pricing. So Shedmate creates that additional benefit for you. So we don't tie you to any specific supplier. You can buy from whoever you want to. So I'm going to use this one with no council. So let's say that this client doesn't need council development or share approval. And now Shedmate is calculating and it's going to give us a price. This price here was 17,922.99. It tells who did that, so myself, and all of the details there. So I'm not including shed erection. I could, but I'm not including for this one. It's just the shed kit. I don't have any council fees because I'm just providing this guy with the shed kit and no concreting as well. So you could do all of that here inside Shedmate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this quotation. So that's my first revision, and I have the price there. And from here, I can actually download the quote. And I could download the contract as well, but I'm not doing that for this one. Just the quoting template will do. So I'll hit download here, and now Shedmate actually send me a quote ready, so I can send via email to my client to just print it so they can sign in the first meeting with me. Imagine, having this system in your company in which you don't have to wait, forever. And there we go. So I have here a quotation from the company Shedmate standard. So this would include your company details, to Tony Davis from Mount Gambier. And then it shows here the building specification 6x12, 4 bays, 3 meters high, trim deck ocean, 12 degrees roof pitch, and all of the details of the PA door, roller doors. I have the skylights, flashings, downpipes, structural details, concreting details, and I could ignore that. And then I have the total price. And then I have here all of my next steps so the client can actually sign the deposit, and I have basic imagery of the shed that I'm actually providing to that client. so you can actually share this with your prospects. And then you can say, hey Artur, what about the design change? Okay, no worries. So let's go back to that project, Davis, and let's say that the client, okay, maybe this is too expensive for me. Can I have, what can you do to make this cheaper? And you can say, all right, mate, you know, you can remove the one of the roller doors, and yeah, that would be fine. So I just want one roller door. Let's see the impact of pricing you're gonna have. So okay, I can just delete that roller door. That's simple. And okay, let's remove two of the skylights. So now I can go back to my quoting, and now I'm going to do a new quote. So I had the first revision. Now I'm going to use here the same pricing template, but now I changed a bit my design, so that's going to influence in my quote. And now it's $16,359. So that's $1,563 cheaper just because I removed the roller door, some skylights. I'm going to save this. And now I have my revisions there, so I can open that one. And you might ask, okay, Artur, how do I know specifically what's included in that quote? You can go here, download quoting, and then Shedmate produces the whole document in an Excel format. And the reason we did that is because most clients are already used to Excel, right? So this is exactly the same structure that we set up with you once you sign up for Shedmate for your costing templates, but this is specific for this project. So we have here all of the items included in that specific quote. And then we have how many we have, like the quantities, like depending on the material, it can be a unit, the length, area, volume, and mass. And then we have the price for each one of them, quantifying a total. So for example, we have here for this project 4 gutter stop ends. They cost $5 each, so it's $20 total. And then by summing every single item included in that project, we have an idea of how much that shed is going to cost. For instance, corrugated collarbone, we have 145 meters of length. We have the total price for each meter, and then we have here a price. So obviously this is just like some random data. You're going to set up your own pricing here, and this is why you can have multiple costing databases to compare and create different quoting revisions for different manufacturers. We can have labor costs, we can have admin costs there, we can have details about roller doors, plates, all of these here, and then have the bill of materials showing every single item that's included in that shed. So you have like an auditing feature as well that you can actually go back and see exactly what was going on in that specific quote. So in this video, we have shown you already how you can, create a quotation, how you can download the quote for your own investigation if you want to, or how you can download the document that you can share with your client. But there is a lot more that Shedmate can do. So let's go back to that specific project, Davis, John, and then if I open here my shed, I could send that quotation to my client, and let's say that the client approves. The client comes back to me and say, hey Artur, I'm happy, okay, let's proceed to the next steps. From here, using that specific shed that we designed, you can go to PDF and export architectural plans and just hit go, and look how simple it is. Compare now with how much you're spending and the headaches of using a drafts person to do this. If you click on download, Shedmate's gonna produce an architectural plan ready for you to use. It shows the floor plan with the north orientation. We're gonna cover this in a few seconds. It shows here some elevations. It shows some a section, more elevations of the shed, and also a concrete slab that could be used to, to share with your customer. So this is how quick it was to do it. If you need to change the shed, no worries. You just make the modifications here, change, produce the PDF again in real time, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going back to my site plan because the client wants to go ahead. We need to provide the client with more details. So I'm going to edit the site plan, and now I need to put the full address. I'll just write here the address for this one, and when I hit enter, it looks in the Google Maps database, so it found that the full address. So when I click there, it automatically puts the coordinates as well. That's going to be very important for shower and council approval, and the council, everything is included there. So I'll hit save here, and now I'll be able to edit my shed. So look what happens here. So Shedmate automatically detects the block boundaries. We're using here SAPA for, this project is in South Australia, so we're using the South Australian government database to actually put the block boundaries here. So this should match the certificate of title for this specific shed project. If I zoom in, I can actually toggle the high definition imagery. So I can actually see that little concrete in this block where would be the perfect place for my shed. So I can just rotate my shed around. So this arrow here is the front of the shed where we added that PA door. So I'll just leave it, the PA door to this side, and I can just move this shed and place it right there. So it looks really good. Just hit confirm, and I can see that my block boundary is a little bit outside. This is common because sometimes the high resolution imagery doesn't match necessarily, but the block boundary dimensions are correct. So what we can do here is we can zoom out a little bit, and we can just select this and move it to here. And you can see it's not perfect, but because this is matching the government database imagery, we're gonna keep this, and this should be enough. And then I can see pretty much the distance from my shed to my block boundaries, and everything showing there accordingly. So there are many things you could do here. I'm not gonna cover everything in details. You're gonna receive all of the information on how to use Shedmate in our onboarding process, but we could actually add modify the boundary and draw it manually. We could add buildings, vegetation, roads, measurement, stopper lines, access points, septic tanks, everything there. It's very simple to be done. So let's do this. I'll just hit here stopper and just cut this little point and say confirm. So now I added a stopper saying that from that building to my sheds 8.4 meters, and then it shows all of the other dimensions. This should be pretty good for council approval. I'll hit PDF again and go. So once again, just like that, very simple. Shedmate creates that block boundary detail for us. And look, this is the north orientation, and because we rotated the position of my building, if I go back to my plans and create my architectural plans again, this should match with what we've done here. So no more problems on the side of people not knowing where to build the shed. This is very accurate, very precise. So it shows here the different elevations, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's pretty much matching the position of my shed. It's already in a scale that your council will accept it. It shows the address, the GPS coordinates, everything there. How long would that take to do that? And if you have a tablet, an iPad or so, you can take the tablet with you to a site visit, and you can do everything in the site with your customer in the first meeting, and you can leave the office with all of the plans, everything ready for them. First meeting, just real-time design. This is what we are offering here. So as I said, I'll open my design again, and I'll export my architectural plans. And then we can see here that my north orientation is going to change because we positioned the shed accordingly in our site plan editor. So if I go to my site plan, there we go. This is the north where I have my PA door there. So that's matching what we've done. So Shedmate has different modules that they are connected to each other. We've covered so far our shed editing, the bill of materials, and the quoting, and the edit site. And then from here, there are many things we can do. Because this client accepted this project, it was in a draft. So that's pretty much the list of inquiries that clients come and go. But once a project is actually booked in, I can actually promote this job to a job. So because I'm promoting, I need to include all of the client information now, because this is going to be used to create all of my paperwork, my contracts, documentation for council, for instance, if I want to. So I'll just use here and create a new client with the draft information provided. So Tony Davis, and I have here, just put here Tony at shedmate.com.au, Tony D, that's fine. And the address, I'm going to use that 2 Pepper Grass Court, and then just use this information there. Just hit save. And then I'm going to say that the address of where the site plan is actually going to be the same as the client address. We have done that already in the site designer. And my company is going to be responsible for building, or client's the builder. So I can pick one of those options, or third-party builder. So I'm just going to use this one. And that's just a code formed shed. That's a domestic, and I could add a job number addition if you have a specific job number in your company, for instance, like G4589. And I'm the responsible for this one. Okay, just gonna hit save, and then Shedmate's gonna say the project is gonna be created for this person. Check that everything seems correct, and this is the name of the project: Davis Tony G4589. Job numbering, type of project, creation date. Just hit save. Done. Okay. So now this project is saved here on jobs. So it means that, okay, that's the list of projects that, I'm going ahead. We have quotation, we have everything for this project done. And because I've done this, it unlocks a few different resources like the bracket system, the fabrication frame, so I can send this to manufacturing, and the option to order every single one of those items, and even exporting Revit files. For instance, if you use Revit or AutoCAD, we can export these documents directly. Or if you're using tackless structures or advanced steel, if you're actually dealing with welded connections, or if you're dealing with solid steel buildings in which you want to do additional detailing in Tekla, like a stair or specific connections, and Shedmate has a plugin with Tekla as well. We can cover that for the enterprise users. So now for this demonstration, I'll just go ahead with the brackets, just following the workflow here, okay? Okay, the project going ahead, so let's fabricate this now, okay? We're loading our bracket system here, and what I'm gonna do is I can check, okay, this is the shed, the client's happy, he wants to go ahead. So I'll just convert this shed, and I'm gonna use the default gable option. And when I click run, Shedmate actually adds all of the brackets and cuts my frames based on the bracket detailing. So you can see that the frames are not overlapping each other anymore. It's being cut. And it's actually using the settings for the brackets we have in our system. Depending on how big your company is, if you have your own bracket details, we could actually adapt Shedmate to use your bracket systems as well to cut and punch at the right location. This saves a lot of time, okay? A lot of time and a lot of human errors in punching and cutting. And here, obviously, there is also a few things we can do to improve the performance. So I have this, the girth here that you can see it's clashing with my brackets. And some companies, they prefer to do this way. So if I go here to my front view, I can see that some companies, they will just do that and they'll cut that on the side. Some will just move this to the bottom. And we could do this right here. So for instance, I could move the frame, and I could measure from here. So okay, how far it is from that point there to here, about 306. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move my frame, and I can move here 350 mil down. So I can just hit here and done. So I just moved my frame there, so it's not clashing with my bracket anymore. If I go to the other side, I'll just do the same, but using a different setting. So some people, they just leave it as it is, but they will cut this a little bit. So what I can do is I can actually trim it, and I'll just add an additional extension here and trim it like 5 mil, hit go, and I'll select this item and that line of the bracket. So it cuts 50 mil from there, and I can do the same here. This item and the bracket, done. So these are just two different ways of doing the same thing. And now you can see that this is kind of grayed out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna renumber the frames. So you can see that's gonna change the color. So it changed the color just because every color is a single part. So for instance, all of these items here, they are exactly the same, and these ones here, they're different. We can play with the overlapping here of the purlins. We are very flexible. We can do many different rules. This is just what's set up at the moment. So we can see that everything seems to be all right. So we have done our fabrication details. That's done. What I can do now is I can sync this to the stock items, or I could sync the frames to fabrication. So Shedmate saying, okay, great, let's go to the fabrication module now. Now in the fabrication module, I can see each frame individually. So I have a list here of every single frame I'm using for that shed. So if I go to this one, I can actually see how this is behaving there. And what I can do is I can select all of the frames if I want to, and I can remove, for instance, the straps, maybe the folded channels. I don't need them here. I'm just gonna leave the C top heads, and we have Z purlins as well if your company uses Z purlins. And I'll just go to orders and hit go. And once again, real-time design, just like that. If I go to download plans, we have just created the fabrication drawings with the punching details. This is how quick it is. All right, guys. So very accurate, very simple. This is matching that specific bracket system. If you have your own brackets, if you have a different way of doing things, we can set up Shedmate to use your brackets as well, depending on your company needs. So yeah, we have done a lot in pretty much. If you can evaluate how fast you do the same, you know, I believe we can do things very quick here. Okay, we're getting a very good feedback from our customers. So we covered a bit the bracket system, and there's a lot more here. As I said, I'm not showing the full project. I'm just focused more on the workflow, but we can actually tag items. Here, for instance, rafters and wall girds. I can tag the bracket detailing. I can the purlins, the girds. I can tag the wall bracing, and this can actually be used. If I just hit Control P here, this can actually be used. Just change the landscape, and I can change here to A4, and you can actually just print this and send to the field. So it can actually help your team understanding the position of the frames for erection purposes. But we have more stuff. We can print cladding layouts. So the cladding layout is gonna show you where to put your cladding. So if you have different claddings, like they have different width, it's gonna change the quantity of it. So other companies, competitors, we have discussed this with many clients, they don't have that feature. We do. So if I come here to my visibility, I'll just show you on the designer, because I believe that's a very nice thing to show. If I go to my visibility and show my cladding layout, I can see everything there. Okay, I can see the cladding layout and how this is behaving. If I just change this bay offset a little bit, you can see that my cladding layout extends because now I need to cut two cladding items, like 2 irons, to put that PA door at the right place. But if I move my PA door, I just saved a little bit on my cladding here. So Shedmate understands all of that, and it shows you the skylight, everything in a very good manner. So going back here, I have my cladding layout showing my skylights, the distances, and the cladding type shows here kind of the dimension of it, trim deck, deep ocean. And if I keep scrolling, I can see the same for my north elevation, my the back elevation, and the side elevations. So showing the specific length for each one of them. So this is the cladding layout that can help you a lot, save a lot of time and money on the site, and reduce missing parts, reduce problems with erection. I can come here and export my marking plans. So the marking plans are the structural plans, structural elevations, and how quick can I do that? Just like that. So I just created here my marking plans. So we have some bracing details, and I haven't done much on the bracing, but we could improve a little bit there. We have here all of the fascias, columns, end wall girds, mullions, and purlins with the right identification of each one of them in all of the elevations as well. And because we have our brackets set up here specifically for the columns, we have here, if I zoom in really quickly, I can have here my my anchors. I can export my concrete plans as well. So here in the bracket system, my concrete plans are very accurate because now I have the right place to do all of my detailing. For instance, I have the true bolt position and the distance of them, and from the grid lines, everything showing in a really good manner there. So all of this documentation I'm just creating right now, just in real time, very quickly. And okay, we need to make a design change, no worries. We can go back and make all of those design changes, and just like that, we can produce all of the documentation again. So we covered how to edit the shed bill of materials quoting, how to edit the site, the brackets, and the fabrication frames. Now we could just jump to the orders. So because Shedmate quantifies every single item, we can create specific orders so you can send to your suppliers. If you're doing internally, like if you roll your own material, you could create your work orders, but if you're buying from people, you could actually create a purchase order or request to purchase order. So for instance, we could do for flashings and gutters and pipes. So let's say we buy this from the same company. I'll just add this to an order, and from here, there are a few settings we could do, like we could define how it's going to be my shipping. I could send to Shedmate, or I could actually send to the field directly. So you can actually define if you're sending to your company address or if you're sending to the client directly. and you can add your order number, you can rename the order there. So I have all of these items included. I could select a few and remove, very simple, and you can see actually what was ordered or not. So that saves you as well from missing items, because you're gonna see what wasn't ordered before yet. So from here, I'm just gonna save the order request and just hit download. And once again, how quick can we produce documentation? Just like that. So I hit download, and it's gonna open my order request directly. So just loading up, and there we go. So if I hit enable editing here, just organizing to fit the size that I'm recording. So here I have my purchase order for Project Davis Tony, and all of the information is there. No human error filling out forms anymore. Shipped to the client address, and I have here my flashings and the description, quantity and length of each one of them. The gutters that I need, the gutter stops, the gutter brackets, and the pipes. So everything's there, okay, based on my shed design. And because this matches with the visual from Shedmate, you can at any point come back to your Shedmate environment, to that specific project, open it, and you can see exactly what's being quoted there. What's being ordered there. So we have this downpipe here, and you have another downpipe on the other side. If you change your mind, say, hey, I need to add another downpipe, no problem. You can just add this, save, go there, and recreate the same documentation again. A plus for it is, while we're creating documentation in Shedmate, I can hit the button on storage here, and I can see all of the documentation I'm creating as well. So I have the architectural plan, cladding layout, concrete frame. So if you are traveling, you're on the go, and a client asks for something, you can just open Shedmate on your phone. You can go to that project, and you can see all of the documentation that you created for that project as well. This is something we created to make sure that Shedmate becomes a single source of truth in your company. So all of the information is there. No more hassle and headaches trying to find the right documentation or who did what. If I open my architectural plan here, I can see who created that, when this was created, and I can just copy this link and send that link to my client. They can open it. That's how simple it is. Or I can just download this directly to my device. If you're using an iPad, your phone, or your computer, you don't need to install Shedmate. It's just a web-based application. And obviously, if you want to go ahead, and if you have a specific design team that uses Revit or AutoCAD or Tekla structures or Advanced Steel, we covered kind of 99% of our Shed business file extensions here. You can export those files as a native file, and your designer, your draftsperson, your engineer, they can use that just as a native file. It goes, all of the frames, everything goes in a really good manner to them. And yeah, guys, this is it. This is how you can, receive an inquiry, how you can create a quote, how you can manipulate the site. So we can create a site plan to your customer, how you can manipulate the bracket system to create your fabrication drawings. If you have Hayes machinery, we're working with Hayes machinery at the moment, and you can not only export the PDFs, but you can actually export the CSV instruction sets. So the CSV can be uploaded to your machinery, so it starts cutting and punching out automatically. So it saves human errors as well while doing the punching. This is a huge problem that lots of companies they have. They order materials, and when it comes to them, it comes with the wrong punching. Okay, so what do? It's just like nightmare, headaches. How much money and time you're spending with this problem. With Shedmate, you can just export the CSV file. They can just send that directly to the machinery, and you reduce the errors a lot. For the orders, I just did one order here for our flashings, but we could do the same. We could continue ordering stuff. For instance, hey, I want to order all of my plates and bolts, kind of my picking list, turnbuckles from the same company. I'll just add here to the order, and now, I can just download again, just showing you how flexible Shedmate is. And when I open that again, the new order, it comes with the two orders in individual views here on our Excel. We have the flashing gutters and pipes, and now we have the bolts, plates, and turnbuckles. And I could obviously send this to different companies that I'm ordering from, or to my internal team inside my company. If you have your own bracket tree, you have your own picking list details, we are more than happy to talk to you to adapt this to your environment. And you can see here what has been already ordered and what's still pending. So I still have to order my vermin proofing, my like other items like screws. I could have added that as well, and frames. So you can order the frames together with that documentation in PDF showing all of the frame and punching and cutting details. And this is how you can use Shedmate for the whole workflow of the Shed. You have all of the documentation, you have contracts, you have quotations, you have invoices, you have everything here on the same platform, and you can make all of the changes just like that. If you have any questions about this workflow, please reach out, send me a message, put your questions here, and I'm gonna reply all of them as we can, and have a great day.
Book a call with our team for a personalized demo on how you can scale your business.